Welcome back, Coach Miller Light Show. Today's show brought to you by Saturday Night. Yes, this is our sponsor, Mary's Miracle Lab. Before the show, I used Saturday Night, and I know you can't smell my breath through this thing, can ya? No, you know who I use it for? I use it for me. It's therapeutic. It's aromatherapy. It feels good to me to have fresh breath, regardless if anybody is out there in my presence. Yeah, 2 sprays will do ya, baby. That's what she said. All right, let's get to it. Abraham Hicks, Money and the Law of Attraction. I'm studying it. I'm writing it down word for word. So I went on today to the next track, just going right down this baby in order, and I heard once again a very powerful message. And I'm so glad to repeat, keep repeating the same message. Very much helps me to hear it over and over again because I got to string these. I'm choosing to string it together and have enough light posts in place to be reminded as I go through my life of some basic universal laws. And that's what Abraham's covering today. So let's get to it. All right, here's what I wrote from Abraham Hicks, Money and the Law of Attraction. In the simplest of terms, whenever you're feeling bad, you are in the process of attracting something that will not please you. Without exception, the reason for negative emotion is because you are focused upon something you do not want or upon the lack or absence of something you do want. It's very helpful to keep being reminded, what are my emotions? What is it? What is going on when I do not feel good? When I feel emotionally not good? When I have that constricting feeling? When I feel angry or frustrated? What is that? It's guidance. That's what it is. When Abraham goes on to say here, a very nice take on negative emotion. Here's what they said. I wrote it down word for word. Many regard negative emotion as something unwanted, but we prefer to see it as important guidance to help you understand the direction of your focus, therefore the direction of your vibration, therefore the direction of what you are attracting. You could call it a guiding bell, letting you know it's time to pivot. You know, as I was just reading this, I was imagining this boat. You know, I've been riding around sometimes in a little paddle boat. You know, you pedal it, but I think it's called a paddle boat, which I find a little bit interesting. You don't paddle it, you pedal it with your feet. So it has a thing you move to move the flipper. Are these the correct boat terminology? Probably not, but hopefully you get my drift. Haha, pun intended. To move this flipper, the steerer, so that I can change my direction. And as I'm reading this, what's Abraham saying? We prefer to see negative emotion not as something unwanted, like, oh no, I'm in negative emotion, I don't want this, and then I'm pushing against it. And we covered on the last show, what happens when you push against something? You're saying yes to it. Come to me this. Come to me more of this. There is no exclusion in this inclusion-based, law of attraction-based universe. So pushing against negative emotion is not a very good idea. But if I understand that it's guidance, Abraham says, to help you understand the direction of your focus. Like if I'm going along in this paddle boat, and it's good to know where you're going. Very helpful to know what direction I'm going in, because if I'm headed into the weeds, I'm going to want to change course, change direction. If I don't know where I'm going, well, my God, you'd end up in the weeds. Just drift along. Where I am, don't know where I'm going. I had nothing to let me know. I'm understanding this is what our emotions are, and this is exciting. Emotion is guidance. It's letting me know which way I'm going, which direction I'm going. Because as we know, I've been covering here on the Coach Miller Light Show, that there's a time gap here in this physical realm. There's a time gap between the thought, the offering of the vibration, and the receiving of it in our life. And that time gap, we don't even know how long. And you know what? It's not my business. Right? We have some things that we're up to, the physical human being. One of them isn't how long does it take for things to materialize. As long as it does. And I believe that there's multiple variables in place, and that's another topic. But it's not about how long it takes. It's what am I offering right now, because I am placing an order. I'm steering my boat of my life in a direction. And I'm either going to end up in the weeds and be like, oh, freak, I didn't pay attention to my negative emotion, letting me know the direction I was going. Abraham's saying this is a helpful tool to let us know what direction we're going. Because there's a time gap between The offering of the vibration, the thought, right? The vibration we offer being a mixture of the thought that we offer, what we're saying, our words or thoughts expressed, our attitude, what we're imagining, that's thought. All right, so Abraham says, we prefer to look at it like a guiding bell. Negative emotion is a guiding bell letting me know it's time to pivot. It's time to turn in a different direction, turn my thought in a different direction. Your emotions are your guidance system to assist you in understanding what you are in the process of creating with every thought you think. I see why they say that until you understand law of attraction or accept law of attraction is absolute, anything else that they offer is not of benefit. Because I'm not going to understand this or accept it and go with it and roll with it. Proud Mary, keep on rolling. I'm not going to roll with this unless I have accepted law of attraction as absolute. Well, how am I going to do that? I'm going to live and learn, literally. Live and learn. Live, study, learn. Live, study, teach, learn. All right. Often people who are beginning to understand the power of thought and the importance of focusing upon good-feeling subjects are embarrassed or angry at themselves when they find themselves in the midst of negative emotion. But there's no reason to be angry at yourself for having a perfectly functioning guidance system, right? There's no reason to be angry at ourselves. We're having a perfectly functioning guiding system. This is fantastic. Negative emotion is good. It's guiding me. It's letting me know what I'm doing, what I'm creating, the future that I'm creating with the thought that I'm thinking currently. When you become aware that you are feeling negative emotion, begin by complimenting yourself for being aware of your guidance, and then gently try to improve the feeling by choosing thoughts that feel better. We would call this a very subtle process of pivoting, whereby you gently choose better feeling thoughts. I really like this, right? So I find myself in negative emotion. First, start with, good job, Mary. Good job. Good job. Good job noticing your guidance. Good job being aware that you have a guidance system. We would begin by complimenting yourself. Well, that's a far cry from, what's wrong with you? Why is it always like this? You're never going to get it. Right? It's a far cry. It's the opposite end of the pool. It's completely different vibration. Over here on, good job. No, way to go. You notice it. You were aware of your guidance. Okay, now let's realize you're feeling negative emotion because law of attraction is responding to your vibration, and right now the thought you're thinking is causing you to offer a vibration that is bringing to you a future experience you're not going to like when it gets here. It's not what you choose. It's not your desire. It's the opposite of your desire. So let's think a thought that feels better. And complimenting ourselves is already starting that pivot. They called it a very subtle process of pivoting. Whenever you feel negative emotion, you could say to yourself, I'm feeling negative emotion, which means I'm in the process of attracting something I do not want. What is it that I do want? Often just acknowledging that you want to feel good will help you turn your thoughts in a better feeling direction. But it is important to understand the distinction between wanting to feel good and not wanting to feel bad. Some people think that it's just two different ways of saying the same thing, when actually those two statements are exact opposites with huge vibrational differences. If you can begin to orient your thoughts by steadily looking for things that cause you to feel good when you will begin to develop patterns of thoughts or beliefs that will help you create magnificently good feeling lives. Okay, so it's going to be a process. I'm getting that here. It's going to be a process. There's no magic pill you take. It's a process. And we got to do the work. It's thought by thought. It's feeling by feeling. It's recognizing my guidance and performing a pivot. Go ahead. Get in the game. 5 minutes, will ya? All right. It's important to understand, let's close up on this, the distinction between not wanting to feel good and not wanting to feel bad. They said they're actually opposites. They're not two different ways of saying the same thing because they're different vibrations. And that's what we're going for here. How does it feel? Going for good feeling thoughts up in here. All right. Thanks for tuning in. Until next time.